Hari Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Swami Jyotirmayananda Society, a journey to self-realization. Please subscribe for the mystical meanings and to enjoy daily satsang. We are currently exploring Srimad Bhagavad Gita, commentaries by Swami Jyotirmayananda ji, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. We are currently on chapter number 2, and today we will be starting from shloka number 46, where Lord Krishna continues to guide Arjuna on the mystery of the soul and our duties in this world. Lord continues, Yavanartha udapane sarvatah samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. For the knower of Brahman, the karma portion of the Vedas serve as much purpose as a small reservoir of water where there is flood everywhere. What that means is that God is saying when you start realizing Brahman, the essential teachings of the soul, then the karma portion, the worldly rituals and the things required become very small, as if insignificant, um, compared to the depth and the profundity of the soul. Shloka number 47, which is a popular shloka, many of you may know. कर्मण्यवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूर्मा ते संगोऽस्त्वकर्मणि. No matter what conditions you encounter in life, your right is only to the action, not to the fruits thereof. You should not be impelled to act for selfish reasons, nor should you be attached to inaction. So, deep shloka with great impact if we understand it properly. Here, Lord says we have a right to doing our duty. We should always do it, but never be attached to just the fruits of the action. Ma karma phal hetur bhur, and don't say because of me this action got done. You simply continue to your duty, and you should not be attached to inaction also. So this is very important. God does not like lazy people. We have been created to do God's work, in other words. That is the essence of this deep shloka. Then shloka number 48, Lord continues to guide Arjuna. He says, Yogastha kuru karmani sangatyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. O Dhananjaya, conqueror of wealth, be established in yoga and perform actions devoid of attachment. So do things but without attachment. Be balanced in success and failure, for balance of mind is known as yoga. Uchyate, yogast uchyate, meaning being established in yoga is a very high state. Moving on to shloka number 49. Durena hayyavaram karma buddhi yogena madhananjaya buddhau sharamana vinchinna kripana phalahetavaha. O Dhananjaya, conqueror of wealth, karma or actions performed with desire is far inferior to the practice of Buddhi Yoga, the yoga of selfless action. Therefore, take refuge in the intellect that flows to Brahman, for miserable are those who desire the fruits of action. So, here again a deep shlok where God is saying, do your job without attachment to the results. So don't be interested in so much action, because that is binding, whereas inaction, when we do action with selfless service, attitude, like volunteer work, etc., we greatly benefit and we are truly understanding Bhagavad Gita then. Shloka number 50. बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृत दुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्. If one can maintain a balanced mind, one is able to abandon virtue and vice. So, in that state, you rise above good and bad, etc., and you are in the state of equanimity. Therefore, engage yourself in the practice of Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga meaning the yoga of selfless service, using the intellect when we do things rather than doing things for sense pleasure or temporary and transient gains. The performance of action with a balanced mind is indeed skill in yoga. So always balance the mind in a state of peace and in equilibrium. Shloka number 51. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantya. Endowed with a balanced mind, renouncing the fruits of action, the wise break the fetters of birth and death and go to the diseaseless abode of Brahman. So, that is the perfect state when you have a balanced mind and you renounce the actions. You don't want any credit per se, you are doing it for the love of spirituality and the love of God. So, Shloka number 52. Yada te moha kalilam buddhir yati tarishyati tatha gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. So now God explains, when your intellect crosses the maya of delusion, you will develop indifference towards whatever you have heard before and whatever you are going to hear in the future. Meaning, once most of us are deluded because we have our own concepts of what we think is right or wrong, or our ego is involved. So, therefore, we are at a very different plane. But once we get totally pure and totally simple, then the intellect itself determines the essence and it crosses the mire of delusion. And once we do that, then we are indeed in an elevated state. Shloka number 53. Shruti viprati prapannate yada sthayasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhis tada yogamavapsyasi. When the intellect, which has been distracted by the conflicting statements of the scriptures, becomes steady and abides in the unshakable state of samadhi, then you will attain yoga or self realization. So, another beautiful shloka here, because God is saying that these scriptures are complex. They cannot be easily understood by an unsteady mind that is full of delusion, with the winds of ego and lust and jealousy inside. The only way to do it is to first purify the vessel and be egoless and simple and do um, the purification, and that cannot come on its own. It comes through guidance through what is right or wrong or ethical or unethical, because the scriptures are deep. They don't open just to anybody. They are password coded, in other words. So if we read them with a tainted view, we will get tainted knowledge only. So when you come in a simple manner and you really want to learn, then you are prepared and the nature, the divine guidance looks out for you and sends you a spiritual guide on this path to show this knowledge in a deep way. But you have to be sincere, then the Guru comes. So, therefore, this journey, God is also saying clearly that once the intellect becomes steady, then we start progressing. We start enjoying the state of samadhi or transcendental state. And when we continue to do that for longer periods of time, and the purification process becomes more and more cleaner and purer, what results is mukti, self realization, nirvana, God realization. All these are synonymous terms, as we often say. So, with this, we conclude our satsanga for today, and we will continue this beautiful journey as Arjuna has been quietly listening to this deep wisdom. But in tomorrow's shloka, Arjuna will speak. He will ask his questions further. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Hari Om Tat Sat.